maybe that is the problem. I don't know.
Well, it's no reason to, I mean, you did more than most. So start there. And second of all, you're the primary caregiver and the doctor, so it's a
Yeah,
lot
like
of
the
stuff.
doctor. Yeah, most mom playing doctor here. Yeah.
And they were, as a matter of fact, today, a lot of this information I had some, and I'd been watching the research. But as
Uh-huh.
I said last month at the Mass General Hospital Grand Rounds there at Harvard,
Uh-huh.
they had one of the professors, and I'm going to review some of his slides,
Uh-huh.
and it talked about the updates on their research, how it started with the small studies and then how it grew. And I said, well, let me see if what I can find, to put together to explain it. And I have to say that I was a little timid, right,
Yeah.
to make any suggestions.
Yeah.
But I think that there's enough evidence to say that this is probably going to be a good thing. And maybe we can talk about some of the reasons as to why. But
Okay.
while we have a minute, and maybe your friend's going to come in, maybe now we'll do a few minute intro
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that your main outcome, what is it that you're hoping to accomplish?
What I'm hoping is, for him to be able to study independently, at his grade level, regardless his ability to communicate, like typical kids or not, at this point, he's not communicating, like well. I mean, he's verbal, he can talk, he can answer, but he's not talking like typical, kids at his age, let alone 8 years old. Like I don't think he even talk at 8 years old. I remember my oldest son at 8 years old, he's able to talk really well. So Nathan is not there, but regardless, of that, I have so many friends with nonverbal kids. Their kids are nonverbal, but they're able to, let's say, grasp, new material, and
Mhm.
that, and they don't need to repeat the same, thing like a million times, like I do it,
Mhm.
Nathan. I have to. It's like an Alzheimer, a dementia at the early age.
Mhm. That's what it sounds like. So one of the things that I'm publishing my research, Prevail Publishing, we're submitting it at the end of the month, talks about a very important mechanism of photobiomodulation, which might be important for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it lends itself to all brain diseases,
Mm-hmm.
because it talks about detoxification of the brain.
Yeah.
We know the gut is important, but sometimes the brain just gets clogged up with its own waste products.
Yeah.
And a high metabolic brain or an injured brain, think of it as a bleeding brain. That
Yeah.
stuff has got to get out of there.
Yeah.
And so the mechanisms that might be at play
Uh-huh.
are really universal for a healthy brain, and that's the brain's drainage system. So these
Yeah.
things have been, uh, when we detox the liver, we detox
Uh-huh.
the gut,
Uh-huh.
and we do these sort of things, we're working on the same systems. But really what we have to do is then that's the pull, if you will. That's the septic tank, if you will. So we can clean the septic tank so it can accept more junk. But
Right.
then we really have to worry about flushing the brain and
Mm-hmm.
cleaning that and kind of getting that pristine.
Yeah.
And it's like an aquarium, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what
Yeah.
the guy talks about.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really hard, because, we do so many liver, like homeopathy, kidney homeopathy, liver and kidney, like herbals and all natural stuff, but the minute, I started doing the mercury, like, and let detox, the minute I start, DMSA, DMPS, alpha lipoic acid, like all of those ACC chelation, Andy Cutler, it's like almost instantly, he starts self-talking, he starts scripting, and then he will say, my brain is dark, my brain is black, my brain is busy, my brain is, not working, my brain is, he's always on the right brain that he pointed out, that I sent you the MRI neuroquant,
Right.
but it's always come down to like the minute I do that DMSA, but when I'm using DMSA alone, DMSA alone and DMPS alone, it didn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. The UTM not pulling any metal, not pulling any mercury, because I'm working with Dr. Newbrander, and he just talked to me today. He seems to be only reacting to DMSA plus the alpha lipoic acid. Other than that, he's not excreting any at all. Yeah, but at the same time, he's excreting the mercury and lead, and he's also, all of his teeth is like missing all of the minerals, like really rapidly, really rapid. So I don't know
Well,
how
we
much.
can put this, just to let you know, we can put this so it's just one-sided,
Uh-huh.
and we can turn the top off if you want to start there. See, it's got 3 different panels, and now I
Okay.
just lit up the one.
All
You
right.
understand? So
Uh-huh.
we could start with just the right side or just the left side if you want.
Yeah.
It's just bringing him up to speed, to
It
see what he
doesn't
can
have
tolerate.
frequency though, right? No frequency, right?
This one doesn't have frequency. This helmet doesn't have frequency, and I think that that's a good thing,
Uh-huh.
because we're gonna do it a couple different ways.
Okay.
Now that I'm gonna turn them all on.
Okay. Are you able to explain it to me? Like those NM 660, like
Mhm.
850 and 900. What are those and what are the function of those?
So let's just put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as light.
Okay.
Okay, you can pick your flavor. Everybody has a favorite flavor, but
Okay.
the end game is that it's like ice cream. Okay, so you've described 5 different colors of ice cream, right?
Okay.
But the basic thing about ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
rather than the color and the flavor, is that it's cold. You
Okay.
see, and the receptors are, good for tutti frutti and for pistachio, but the major
Okay.
receptor you could say is cold. So
Okay.
think of light as a
Uh-huh.
food, and that's why we want to give it to them and see how they recover, or
Okay.
oxygen, and
All
see
right.
how they do. Then we
Okay.
can take the intranasal and play with that. It's going to be a little bit funny, but the
Uh-huh.
intranasal has varying frequencies or hertz.
Okay.
So that's where you can get fine tune it after a while.
Okay.
So this is the intranasal,
Uh-huh.
okay, red and infrared,
Okay.
and that's going to have changes on the blood to make it circulate better, right?
Okay.
So it's going to become flow easier,
Okay.
and it's going to maybe energize it, and it
Okay.
moves it along, so that maybe we're going to have deeper perfusion with this and like a mini pad or something, or here around the neck or the back of the head. We're
Okay.
going to vasodilate and fill up that brain, okay, with fluid, and activate some systems, and then he's going to go to sleep, and that's when we're going to monitor his sleep. Now, I do have a coaching program that'll teach you how to do the biodata and everything like that, so you can monitor his sleep,
Okay.
monitor his activities, and make sure that he's doing everything right, because
Okay.
that's really the key. If you're not sleeping, you're not going to detox the brain.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that's
I
not the
want,
problem here. He sleep 10 to 12 hours a day.
but still, we want to use the systems to,
You use this at night when he's asleep?
and no, not at this point. But what we do is we're going to do it before he goes to sleep
Uh-huh.
and just as he wakes up.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're using it as circadian medicine. We're
All right.
priming his nervous system and his vascular system and try to create some, like, I want to use the word, but symbiotic frequencies of the heart and the brain.
And how
So
many times a day do you use this?
I would say twice a day, once in the evening before bed and once in the morning when he wakes up.
And how long each time?
Well, that we have to do that on a case by case basis, in a sense.
Mhm.
Start with 10 minutes and see if he freaks out. You know what I mean? More activity might, more brain power might, maybe we're going to spin some of these things a little too fast. We have to be
Okay.
careful behavior
And
wise.
right. And the frequency, do you use it like for your nose? You start it with the six. You have it comes with 3 frequency, right? For the nasal, right?
I think that there's going to be, depends on what comes in the shipment. We have nanometers, we have red and infrared in the body pad, red and infrared for the helmet, and red and infrared for the intranasal.
Mm-hmm.
The frequency is how fast you turn it on and off. And we're just going to stay with wide open frequencies right now because the nose has to open up. That's where the stuff
Okay.
drains into
Okay.
the body.
That 660 is not considered frequency. So frequency is a different thing. So what is it
Correct.
called? The 660 and 800? What is that?
Nanometer wavelength.
Wavelength. Okay. So
And
so how many wavelength come with in the nasal?
you have each diode is a different color, if you will.
Oh.
So this one's one and this one's the other. Then in the morning, you just switch them.
Oh, okay. And what is the each wavelength? Different?
No, it's pretty much the same.
Okay.
There's so many things that once that starts going into the body that,
Uh-huh.
630, 660, 650, they're all about the same. You kind of look at them as, the major chords they're all the same music. It's just different chords,
Okay,
So
so those
music.
so the nasal one comes at around 600 nanometer. The wave.
635, everything's around 635, 810.
Okay. Okay,
It's
and
about
that
the
will be safe, correct? To be use it if he wants to use it like more than twice a day, because he tend to be like this. Because we used to have the MR4, and they already told me don't use it more than 3 minutes each. But my son will use it like about 20 times a day,
It's fine.
because he's just he feels good about it, he feels better.
I agree. I don't think we are leaving it up to mom and son, Nathan, to figure out how much. Okay. Because the only thing is we're not going to sit. I'm just saying, we have no side effects. We can
Okay.
see no side effects. So
Uh-huh.
means go, what do you want to do? Do a little bit or do a lot? Let's do it till he feels like he doesn't want to do it anymore, type of thing. So I'm with you.
Yeah, is the nose is the penetration from the nose deep enough that can reach the brain, do you think?
Well, I do, but I'm a little prejudiced, but I think that the evidence suggests that yes, we can get a signal to the brain either through increased circulation, but I think it's actually activating the prefrontal cortex.
Okay.
I think that's that we have enough signal to show that. So let me show you the research because you're going to be up to speed, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So autism spectrum disorder is a lifelong developmental disorder, difficulties with socialization, reciprocal communication, repetitive behavior, sensory integration problems, affects about 2% of the youth, and there's no established pharmaceutical treatments. Communication, behavioral, and social functioning would be the triad, I suppose.
Uh-huh.
We understand that photobiomodulation is light coming into the body, into cells and tissues and changing them. Okay, so it may, we say here that transcranial photobiomodulation reduces pro-inflammatory cytokines, right? Reduces infiltration of macrophages, activates microglial cells, may stimulate neurogenesis and neuroprotection, increase brain BDNF,
Uh-huh.
which is important,
Yeah,
and
that's
pro-apoptotic molecules.
Yeah,
We
that's
know that
good.
transcranial increases oxygenation, can change connectivity. We can neurooscillate the brain tissue and brain waves, promotes angiogenesis, increases BDNF, produces more ATP, stronger mitochondria, may increase cognition, accelerate neuronal activation, and the now that we're talking about brain drainage for detox.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the first studies was done, the effects of low-level laser therapy on autism
Can
spectrum
I,
disorder.
yeah, can I take a picture of these so I can read it later
I'm
on
going to
this?
I'll send you the
Oh, okay.
video.
Okay.
This was done in Cuba, I think, or started in Cuba.
Okay.
Uh, this is the paper,
Uh-huh.
okay, and we're going to review it this way a little bit. They looked at 21 of the 40% participants received 8 5-minute procedures administered at the base of the skull and the temporal area across 4 weeks. So that is like 1/8 of what we're going to attempt to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they looked at irritability, lethargy, stereotypical behavior, height. Let me see if I can do my annotate with my spotlight. Non-compliance, inappropriate speech. They use the clinical global impression scale. What that means is you look at him and you just say, I think he's better.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take a look at it. The global score, they saw a reduction in aberrant behavior.
Uh-huh.
They saw a reduction in irritability.
Mm-hmm.
They saw a reduction in lethargy or social withdrawal.
Okay.
They saw a decrease in stereotypical behavior.
Mm-hmm.
They saw a decrease in hyperactivity, and they saw a decrease in inappropriate speech against the sham control.
Yeah.
So these are big movements, right?
Yeah.
And what they also found is that the participants' percentages in the severity of illness subscale. So the placebo didn't change,
Uh-huh.
but these
Same.
participants had a significant reduction in how that they think that this was the global impressions of severity was significantly reduced or showed a great reduce. So in these two groups, they much improved in the, which one is this now, in the clinical change, right? Whereas the no change in the placebo group, and in the test group, the improvements of the subscales also showed everyone improved in the test group,
Okay.
basically.
Before you go on, before you move on, I have a question. Is this in this study, that study that you just showed, is the same wavelength?
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show
Okay.
you.
All right.
Now, it was a double-blind RCT with 5 to
right.
17-year-old people.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
They used 635
All right.
red
Okay.
to the temporal region and the
Uh-huh.
base of the skull.
Uh-huh.
Twice a week, 5 minutes. That's
Wow.
really not that much,
Yeah, right.
right? And these were LEDs. And these are the changes that they showed.
Yeah,
Again,
I
in a
want that
different way.
one. I want the inappropriate speech because that's what my son has, you know, and the stereotype. The stereotype also, it comes in OCD. The rest is probably okay. He's not lethargic, he's not irritable, he's not a hyper, but those two is like mainly him.
Okay, well, we can change it. We can look at that and maybe address it specifically. But basically, everybody got, the treatment group at bed. Basically, irritability subscales was significantly more effective than placebo in treating the symptoms of ASD in children and adolescents. Okay, and this is another one. They looked at, this is the same researcher, Machado. And this is one that showed in 2019. So that was 2018. This is 2019. Low-level laser therapy in autism. Yeah. And so let me see if I did this. Let me see if I can get this done here. So they looked at the first study and they looked at these improvements, and to continue the procedure produced an aggressive, meaningful improvement up to 6 months following the completion of the procedures. So they didn't really, I believe they didn't have to continue to do it, but they continued to see people.
Yeah.
So they used it was a laser versus LED, but very low power and very low things, and continued to affect a progressive and meaningful improvement up to 6 months following the completion of the procedures. So it was a lasting thing. These results suggest that PBM intervention should be applied to us as early as possible in a lifetime. So they looked at this one.
Yeah.
So this is the guy that did this research: efficacy of transcranial infrared light therapy in ASD, interim analysis of an open label proof of concept thing. This is what they talked about, okay? Was these changes right here using LEDs. I'm gonna go over it right now. And it was put a couple of places, so I'm just showing you that it's actually published research, and this is the guy that presented the other day, last month, okay? And what they found is that the PBM treatment was associated with improvements in the core features of ASD as well as executive function and significant improvement in overall function. The 98% rate of adherence to scheduled study visits and procedures suggests a high potential of acceptance of this non-invasive intervention. TBM is safe, feasible treatment approach, and further research is needed. Let me show you what they found. They had intact language skills, this group, and they used 830 wavelength. So they used the infrared, right? Yeah. And just to let you know, they did 2 of them, and they only treated the temporal region. Continuous light, you understand? Continuous light, did not pulse. So we have the red and we have the infrared, and it's continuous. Does that sound like it's gonna work? I think so. Yeah. So they use the same thing, global impression and social responsiveness scale. That they're looking for these changes. The social responsiveness scale
is
measures social.
Is near infrared and infrared the same, right? Or no?
Yeah, that's pretty much the same.
Okay.
Pretty much the same. Is a social ability. It is used primarily with individuals. Okay, that's the test. So they looked at social awareness, social cognition, social communication, social motivation, and restricted in repetitive behaviors.
Okay.
This one here is the global impression of severity, okay, which is no change, borderline ill, severely ill, very ill. And this one is the impressions of improvement, which they say, how much did they change? So this is just you tell them, I think he changed this much, I think he's this sick. So much improved, very much improved. These are the scales that we can use.
Yeah.
For you to tell me how sick is he, right? Okay. In these factors, and then how much did he improve?
Right.
Very simple. This is what they used, infrared light, 20 to 30 minutes per exposure. You got it? So 20 minutes 3 times a week, then 25 minutes twice a week, then 30 minutes 3 times a week. Okay. Again, we're going to exceed these parameters because we're going to start low, but we're going to do up to 20 minutes twice a day. So we can go from this 20 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't know, every once in a while, to a full blown doing it a lot. Okay, so the age of these people were 30. They weren't too sick, but the same thing, they showed a significant improvement in, or I'm going to say significant, but we showed improvement in social communication, repetitive behaviors, motivation, social awareness, and social cognition. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And these are the whole endpoints. So everybody's got better. And they also showed an improvement in their global functions, in this ASD global intersections and things like that. You follow? And the adults rated their ADHD as getting better also. So how are you feeling? So we observed them and then we asked them, how are you feeling with the ADHD? So these are the significant changes: inhibition, emotional control, planning and organization, materials, behavioral index, metacognition, and global executive composite. All of those trended positively, right? No serious side effects. All right. And 50% of the patients met a significant responder status, means they didn't just say they got better, they actually improved at a significant clinical level that you could see, yes, this is important. You follow?
Yeah.
So it's non-invasive, potentially safe intervention, promising treatment for the core feature of ASD, well received, and we can do further studies. Let me show you this new research. So this is also looking for at tPBM for autistic traits and ADHD. This is double-blind sham control, right? So it's an open label thing of autistic children with ADHD, and they're going to look at this. They're going to use the same device I think they're going to use the same device. They're going to go 20 minutes, 10, 20, 30, and 40 minutes at home, which is much more in line with what we're doing, right? Because this clinical stuff in cases that we do informs the literature to say, how much can we take? So if you look at the dose, 20 minutes daily, 30 minutes daily at home versus 5 minutes 3 times a week, it's just a much greater power, much greater juice, right? So they're looking at these distinctions and the connection between adult ADHD and ASD when they do their study. And they see that there's autism and autism traits is what they were talking about. So they're also going to look at this to design to efficacy of autistic traits in children, again, with a fixed dose as it goes up and looking just like we're going to do. Start a little bit, do a little more, and observe. You know, Nathan's doing better. Nathan's doing better. Nathan's doing better. Okay? Just to let you know. These are the 3 studies that are ongoing. Okay?
Yeah.
This is from the clinicaltrials.gov. This is 2 of them are done in Massachusetts by the group that I went over first. And this next one is done by Jalikalite. This is a small little device that they're wearing. Again, temporal region, but it doesn't treat the whole brain and it doesn't really do much of anything. As far as the juice, what we're going to do is a lot more juice. These are the researchers. That's fine. These are some of the researchers. If you want to look over, you can look up some of these that think this. This is the other one that's happening at Mass General. Autism traits in children and adolescents with ADHD. They're going to look to see if those traits get better, as well as photobiomodulation in autism spectrum disorder. They're already started that trial, and they're starting that stuff right now. So that is my presentation.
So why can't you put the nano length, the wavelength in the helmet? Why not?
We do have it in the helmet. We have 830 and 810, 835 and 810.
Oh, you do have the wavelength in the helmet. You said no.
Both.
Oh.
It doesn't flicker as far as frequency. It's constant wave, and that's what the research has used. Red and infrared, constant wave. Temporal zone, we're going to treat, we can treat just here and here. We can treat just the left side. We can treat just the top of the head. We can take it easy.
Oh, there's a click that we can change?
Yep, I showed you already.
Oh, sorry.
I showed you already. There's 3 buttons that you can click and turn on whichever you like. See?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I did not. Okay.
So you can start slow or reduce it if he gets I mean, they don't seem to get worse. They don't seem to get headaches or inside, they don't seem to get this bad stuff.
No. I have a small, because now my MR4 is broken. I don't, like have the fun to fix it, and we have a small like light, and that he asked for it. He wants it. He likes the light. He used to use the MR4 like in here for like 20, 30, 40 minutes if I let him. It's like, he must have feel better. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how. I mean, I just feel hurt if I use it too much. I don't know how he just can't like it so much.
Because it's energy and it goes in and it helps. And I want to suggest that you use the lights also. Because caregiver stress is real. Caregiver stress is real. And if you can remain healthy and calm and get better sleep and better recovery and change your nervous system, it's going to be good for everybody.
Will it help you detox as well? Probably, right? Will it help
I
you?
think that if you put it on your liver and your spleen during the rest of the day, if you put it on the chest and the neck, the chest, it's very good because it's going to open up those vessels to
Okay.
move the lymph around wherever it hurts. That's probably something's clogged up. And
Okay.
when you put the pad, I don't have my pad here, but when you put the pad on the body, he
Uh-huh.
might like to sleep with it. He might want to keep that on all the time. And I do that
Oh, okay.
sometimes too. So it's
Okay.
not going to be a problem.
Okay. I do have two questions before you go. The first question is, I talked to Katerina, and she asked me, did you talk to Dr. Joe, like I said, yeah, I will. I'll let you know. I said, so I said, he gonna do presentation, so I promised her to ask you if you can do this presentation in her group. Would you be willing to do that? That's number one question. And number two question is for me. Are you able to give me the best price, the Black Friday price, the 1100 something, for me, because I missed it, at that time.
Yes, and yes. I'll send you this video and you
Uh-huh.
can let Katerina look at it. You can share it with her and let
Okay.
her look at it and see if she likes it and if it's interesting. I had to really go and look at the papers before I would say yes. Before I would say that I had to be influenced before I came out and said, I think that this is going to be positive. And I had to know that the caregivers are in line, and I had to know that the outcome that you were looking for was something that we could reach. We've had evidence that it could be reached. And I think you could see, just like me, you can read as well as me, that it seems like we're going to arrive there.
Right. Well, for my site though, if you want to collect data, like I said, like those two areas, like the OCD part and the obsessive speech, nonsense speech, it's there, and I can notice that since our machine is broken, it increases, those nonsense speaking, like he just speak like gibberish, something that not even makes sense. We can collect data, whatever that you want to use, and we can collect it again in 6 months, like I'm willing to do that.
Well, that's fine.
And
We just want mom to say he's better. That's all. That's
yeah,
really the
I
only
know,
thing that
right?
really works right now. I mean, it's the only thing we really care
Yeah.
about. But let
The
me
good.
say it on 2 points. If we do it enough
Uh-huh.
and we do it at the right time.
Uh-huh.
So when is very important.
Okay.
When is important. So if we can do it at night and first thing when he wakes up, after he
Uh-huh.
goes pee or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and then he can, if he's home, he can use the body pad as much as he wants,
Uh-huh.
and let's see what happens, and then we can modify.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he gonna like it. He gonna
He's
like.
gonna like the body pad. I like the body pad a lot. I like the body
Okay.
pad.
Yeah, I
Helps me.
never try body pad. I don't have any the PMF mat, any mat. I never had any mat. So
If you run into trouble, I know that finances are always an issue, but
uh-huh.
we have coaches that are available
Mhm.
that can help with they're good with the Alzheimer's people and dementia people. And I'm a clinician, but I mean, I'm not a therapist, right?
Okay.
So I'm more of a coach. And that means, if it hurts, take a couple of laps. I'm not very, how do you say, run it off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not very soothing, but I think that's something that you can look at if you run into trouble, but I think you can handle it. You don't seem overwhelmed, and you're only going to get better if you use the lights every day yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That I do know. That I do know. Because he's the one. He is not lost completely. His mind is at here. So he will tell me what his needs. I need water. Even when he said I need coconut water, he specifically tell me I need coconut water, mommy. So I don't know why, but he's the one who can feel it in his body, and he just addressed it to me. I need this. I need light, mommy. Like that's what he always say. I need light. He doesn't say red light. I need light, but I know what he means by that.
He may mean he needs lights too. So one of the things you might want to do is get him outside and put his feet on the grass if possible, or
Yeah,
touch
the
concrete,
grounding.
the
Yeah,
grounding, the earthing
yeah,
type of thing. That
yeah,
seems to be very helpful too. But we're doing it's, I think we're doing a lot as far as efficiency, circadian medicine, getting him into his rhythm, starting pumping the system a little bit and see what happens. And I could say 6 months, I could say a year and a half. It really doesn't matter. The stuff's not going to break, hopefully. It's
yeah, yeah.
built to last for 10 years. So
Well, I hope he's gonna be recovered. Not recovered like like it doesn't have to be. I'm not trying to be making him Einstein, but I believe in God. So I know God will give him like a place for him that he can function normally in the society, as much as he could.
let's
Like
see.
maybe find a job, my regular job. Who knows what he's going to be interested in. What I want
Uh,
is that he's able to learn and understand things without a million repetition. Like for example, he's in the level at the end of level 1 going to level 2 piano, but it takes him about 2 years to get to this thing, while all kids probably already at level 4, right? you know
mhm.
he's not.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I started to coach a family because when I do coaching, I coach everybody, diet and sleep patterns and
Uh-huh.
nutrition, because everybody has to get better. You know
Yeah.
that. And I told him, he should go try to get a job. See if you can get anybody to help him do dishwashing.
Uh-huh.
Dishwashing is not too hard, but he can have social interactions and everything like that.
Right.
And they said, okay. And we coached him for about 6 months or so. Okay. Next thing I know, the guy's got an art exhibit. Like 6 months after that, he's doing an art exhibit. So from not being able to not really speaking to using social cues and getting him out and having him do stuff, chop up
Yeah.
food, do dishwashing, get out. Next thing he's got an art exhibit, I see. So who
Wow.
knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
said, God has a plan. We just want to put light on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God has planned. God has a like a reason why he's on earth. Like I don't know why, but I'm sure it's just the stress that on my plate. It's really difficult. You know there's no guidance. No book. Why am I getting this kid? It's tough though. You have a kid that you cannot communicate with. It's like, but I drill him. Every day I talk to him. I say, you need to tell me what was yesterday, what's today. Is it better? Is it number 1? Is it number 2? Is it medium? Is it low? Is it high? How do you feel about your brain? Is it busy? Is it not busy? So I every day you talk to him, and he get tired of me talking to him, but hopefully someday he'll realize it. That
Did you have you seen the little octopus? Have you seen the
Yeah.
octopus? So
Uh-huh.
there's a stuffed octopus, right?
Uh-huh.
For
Uh-huh.
nonverbal communication. And it goes this way, it's one color, orange, and then you push it and you flip it the other way and it goes to be black. So when
Oh.
when you wake up and Nathan has a good day, nonverbal communication, they puff it up so that it's orange so that you don't have to ask him. He's like, I'm good, I'm orange. But if he's
Oh.
having a bad day, he flips it inside, pushes it inside out like a poofy, and it shows black. So today's a bad day. So
Uh-huh.
getting some sort of non-verbal cueing that you can give him a set of blocks, and leave him by the bed and have him take the green block, I'm having a great day.
Uh-huh.
Yellow, I'm not doing too good. Red, leave me alone. You know,
Right. Right.
it's a good little tool if you can find some colored objects and to leave around for him so
Yeah.
everybody can kind of know and he doesn't have to have the
Yeah.
burden of speaking.
Right.
I'll see
Right.
if I can find a link to, because it's pretty cool. The
Come here.
octopus.
No, come here. Come here. Yeah. 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 Definitely. I would like to see your presentation. This is Nathan. Say hi.
Hi. Hi.
Good afternoon, Nathan. Good to see you.
Say how are
How are
you?
you?
I'm good. I'm Dr. Joe. I'm Dr. Joe. You're
Dr.
Hey,
Nathan.
Joe.
Dr. Joe.
Good to see you.
Dr. Joe
Good to
has
see
a
you.
red light. Look at,
I
he has
got
a
lights coming for you. Here, let me show you. I'm
Look.
gonna send you one of these.
look. Wow. Would you like to wear it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that red light like helping you?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you like red light?
Yes. I like
How do you feel when you put the red light on your head right here?
happy.
Happy?
Yes.
I agree. I agree.
Did it
I
help
agree.
in your
Yes.
brain?
Yes.
Like make your brain what?
Better.
Better? Oh, okay.
Amen. We're gonna
Mhm.
do it.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's what I like. Good boy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He is where he is, like he knows, he only has me, so he's close to me, and he knows he has nobody else but me. So
Yeah.
he appreciate me, and he even though I probably can be you know
Pain in the ass.
yes, I was just about want to say that, but
Well,
that's
no,
him.
it's caregiving is a
Mhm.
privilege and a sacrifice.
Sacrifice,
And,
yeah.
and I want you to, because love is a sacrifice, And
Yeah,
I
it's
want you to use this. I want you to use this. I want you to get your rest. I want you to be strong, because that's the other plan. When we're working with Alzheimer's people, we realize
uh-huh.
if the caregiver gets sick or the caregiver has to go for an operation, the caregiver sprains his leg, everything can go right down the drain.
Yeah,
And that could be something that we really aren't, we have to kind of be prepared for it. So
yeah, right.
let's
Yeah.
see if I can put the order together. Let's see if I can organize it. I have to wait for the intranasal to come.
Okay.
But we could start with the helmet, do a discount on the helmet, start with that, go for a month or two, a helmet and a body pad type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe 2 body pads, mini pads. Start with that and see how he goes. And then in a month or two, give you a deal for one of the intranasals. It's not here anyway, so I could start the process, write up the stuff and send you an invoice for next, and send the stuff out next week, and hopefully it'll get there. Just start with the helmet and the body pad, mini pad.
Okay. And what is the method of payment, doctor? Is
I
that
can
like
do PayPal.
okay, the PayPal? Okay, the PayPal, great. Like that's help. They have 6 months, thing. But yeah, if you I don't mind waiting until you get the intranasal. I can
Well,
you
let's
know,
just start, because let's not overdo, right?
okay.
Let's not overdo. Let's start with this. And if he wants to watch, if he wants to do something, turn it around like that and wear it like this a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So you'll get something in the front. It doesn't hurt the eyes. You can keep them open or closed.
Yeah. Oh,
So we can do something along that line. And
uh-uh.
I think we'll have enough juice to move the needle, right? If we're
Okay.
going to see some change, we should see it with the helmet and the mini pad here, right here,
Yeah.
and on the chest and on the shoulder, wherever it hurts, back of his
Yeah,
neck.
yeah, yeah. All right. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
And then we'll move forward with the intranasal.
Okay. Alrighty then. Yeah. Thank you, doctor. And then I'll let Katrina know if you that you're willing to do the presentation for the group, because there are many autistic kids in the group, in her group. She has so many group, like I can I don't remember how many, but it's a lot of autistic parents, because in the
That's the thing. I get more requests for autism than I do for Alzheimer's. And that really shocked me. And I mean, I'm ready to do Alzheimer's. I can do that. We can really rock and roll on that.
Alzheimer people and dementia people, they already had their life, okay in the beginning. And then at the end, they were like that. For autistic kids, we never had a chance to get to know our kids, to be honest with you. We lost, I lost my kids' childhood. I don't know. I never cherished his 2-year-old because when he was 2, I was busy running around from one therapy to another therapy. Until these days, we still have to fight with the school district, what treatment, what services you can do,
That's right.
it's just nonstop. It's just nonstop.
Well,
know.
you're definitely a warrior. And think of it this way. Think of it this way. You know, it just happens. Like, how many parents lost their child to drug use?
Yeah. Yeah.
How many parents lost their child to, cancer?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you have to be blessed really to make it through this, landmine of life and not have a little bit of crushing of your heart, right?
Yeah, but there are so many parents that don't believe autism can get better, and they don't treat their kids, and their kids just gonna be the same or getting worse as they get older. And that's the kids that we don't know how many are they, in this world. And even when I treat Nathan still like this. It's not completely recovered. It's not even recovered. It's still far from recovered. But at least he can communicate somewhat. But
I
it's
hear
tough.
you.
It's tough.
I hear you.
They will treat cancer. They will treat cancer, and cancer might get better. They might lose their kids. Drugs can get better, but autism, if because there is no treatment for autism, they just put it in the bucket of autism, and they run. This pharmaceutical, they just put it in the bucket and they run. All their solution is, have you vaccinated them? All right, more vaccination. Okay, they're already autistic. Okay, let's give more vaccination. It's free. So vaccine is free, but the autism, what's gonna do? What
right.
are they gonna do?
Right. So I said, cancer kills people. Why isn't cancer treatment free?
Yeah, because they want people to be cancer, and because it's giving money to the pharmaceutical company. Because if we try to find a cancer cure, the doctor get killed because the pharmaceutical does not want to get lost money. They want their money, their medicine or whatever, to keep making money.
I agree. I think you're a warrior, and the best thing is to win.
I just don't have tears anymore. I want to cry, but I don't have tears anymore.
That's a good point.
It's I want my kids to talk. I want my kids to chit chat with me. If I cry, he will say, "Mommy, you crying." I would like a child that can come to me. Why are you crying, Mommy? Is there anything I can do for you? What make you cry? Is there anything, like we can do together? But no, I can't get the kid like that, because my kid's not capable to do that. He's only able to say, "Why are you crying?" And then he give me a hug. I mean, that's an improvement, better than nothing. Some kids don't even do anything if their parents are crying, but I guess it's still has blessing, a little blessing in that sense, but still not enough for me. I would like to leave this earth, with more, improvement in Nathan.
I hear what you're saying. But no, I think that I think you're taking my instinct, my intuition tells me that this is the right step. That's all I could say.
Okay. Yeah. Thank
So
you,
let me
Doctor.
let me put this together and figure out what the deal is, and
Yeah.
start this process as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I'll let Katrina know. Thank you.
Okay, dear. Thank you. Peace. Happy Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Doctor. Bye.